Looks like old Corvette grills. Maybe a covered up Corvette? Yes, I uncovered this 1970 Corvette for this Part 5 update on a frame-off build for this wonderful machine. To begin, I have to back up to show you where this project has come from previously. This is a 1970 Corvette, came into the Callaway Customs hot rod shop on February 1st, 2024 as a non-running project car. Every single nut and bolt and whatever, all parts have been gone over and either returned to the car, if need be, replaced with an upgraded part, or simply fully modified, such as the new street shop frame and chassis. Initially, the customer had been told that the car was in good condition. Well, that was who he bought it from for the most part, and that was not true. The frame was bad, so that got replaced with a street shop frame and chassis, which is wonderful. The bird cage was rusted badly. The whole front windshield frame and a couple of other places lower on the bird cage along top of the frame were bad and just had to be completely rebuilt. The 350 engine that came with it was in good condition, so Scott Callaway, here again of Callaway Customs, was able to have the block refurbished, and he put the engine back together with many really nice upgraded parts. It originally had a turbo hydromatic automatic transmission, but that got replaced with a TCI 4L60E 4-speed automatic. The body was originally Daytona yellow, then repainted silver at who knows what time. Now, after having been bodyworked and painted by Tubb Restorations just north of Sulphur Springs, Texas, it is now a vibrant red that has very good flop to it. It's a beautiful color. Part 4 ended on August 15th, 2024 when the body and frame were joined together at Tubb Restorations. This video picks up from there on August 20th, 2024, still at Tubb Restorations. Then quickly moved back to the Callaway Customs shop for being completely put back together. Welcome to Road Odyssey. Thanks a ton for joining me in part 5 of the 1970 Corvette restoration. Please like and subscribe. Remember, I have my YouTube channel with hundreds of cars and travel related videos for your enjoyment. And I have my Facebook page where you can follow my current activities 24/7. Thank you. Let's just pop open this portion of the build and get started. Once the painting was basically completed, it was time for Cecil Tubb to replace some parts before returning the vet back to the Callaway Customs. Much of the installation of parts at this time were temporary. Whatever goes on will have to come off again later, except for things like glass. Cecil did a good job of getting the following installed. The rear window prepared, then installed. Hood and hood latches worked well. Be aware, when you're installing the hood latches, be sure to have a plan for getting the hood back open if it gets stuck. Like be able to get inside the engine bay, maybe from under the car, and have latch cables where you know you can access them. It can take several tries to get the hood latches to work just right. Doors installed and shut very well. Door seals went on just fine. May still need a bit of adjustment to the door positions. Coming around front and around side a little bit, the front grills and side grill parts had to be prepared for paint. Then painted black and at least temporarily installed. Tail lights were also installed. getting too far into this, there are 4 prior videos you might like to watch, and they kind of go through every single little step that has occurred up to this point. So you might want to kind of go back and check those out. Affordable Autoglass is the 3rd auto business thus far involved with this build. James and Bonnie, well, they put in the front windshield for everybody. The glass had been fit tested by Cecil Tubb, the Callaways, and here Affordable Autoglass, so they all knew it should work. It's important to note that these C3 Corvettes use spacers along part of the window frame for the glass installation. These spacers help to reduce the difficulty, well, I guess, installing the already tricky trim from being that much more tricky. So anyway, look out for those spacers. They should help you for this window install. The time that was most frightening was when trying to begin installing the trim. The top trim is difficult. Seriously, it is hard to do if you have had little or no experience with these particular cars. The windshield, it fit perfectly in the frame, which means that the rebuild of the frame was done very well indeed. But at this time, because of the difficulty of getting it in and being afraid of damaging or breaking the glass, it just wasn't completed right here and now. Scott was so happy to see it back at Callaway's in their possession. Jason and Maggie were so happy they were singing for joy. But did I see an electric fire? Oh no! Okay, gotta have some fun. That was just me and the owner goofing around, but the Callaways were getting serious with this build. At the very start of September, the Callaways were ramping up for a lot of work yet to come. I am not showing you work done in a timeline order. Instead, I will show you some of the work done categorically, beginning with a little bit of soundproofing, the AC, quite a lot of wiring like for the wiper tray, headlights, tail lights, car battery, things like that, and possibly a bit more if time allows. Beginning with the easiest things to show you first, soundproofing is added to the floors and doors. When they get closer to completion around the firewall, they will add a bit more soundproofing there. Simple enough. The AC system is from Vintage Air. This one looks like all the rest I've seen. They ordered the kit with all of the needed components like compressor, all the brackets, hoses, condenser, dryer, fittings, hardware, and of course the instructions. The nice thing about these kits to me is that they remove all of the old vacuum lines and extra cables. It just really cleans everything up to me. Here's the compressor and the mounting bracket. The bracket runs off the exhaust manifold. The original bracket that came with it didn't fit right, so they used the front parts but got different brackets behind the compressor to connect to the engine. Wiring is a huge topic. I can only give you an overview with some key comments. The main wiring harness from American Auto Wire was giant. It literally weighed, I don't know, 20 pounds or something. And the wires just go on forever. There are so many and long wires because, well, it's a fiberglass car. Therefore, some of the extra wires are for grounding, and that also implies that you are not able to simply use one wire for multiple devices, like one wire for both headlights or something. No, it's all separated. So that just means there are tons of wires. Another wiring vendor used is Painless Performance. Committed to your commitment of wiring yourself to death, there's just a lot of work in this regard. Be prepared to read instructions completely and take your time. I begin this wiring fun by looking at Jason as he gets the windshield wiper tray cover to operate. Don't blink,
You're pretty
it's
fast.
Oh, looky there. Back into place. And that looks pretty good. The placement's not half bad, is it?
That's the limiter.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Over travel.
The Detroit Speed headlight kit I thought might be of great interest for many of you. I had some difficulty getting good pictures. I'm just a guy going to a car shop at random. But let's try this. Now, the kit comes with the motors and their brackets that attach directly to some of the existing holes from the vacuum system, so there's no drilling. Several parts involved, but well mapped out for you. Here's the actuator motor, actuator assembly plate or bracket, and pitman arm installed on the headlight. The existing springs will be used. Also, the wiring is doubled up in terms of power and ground sent to both sets of the headlights. And you might want to be aware that you have to make specific types of electrical connections for the power wires. So that portion of the task can take, some special tools and a bit of tenacity and time. Here's a look with the wires all loomed up. Very nice looking indeed. A good amount of space has been freed up in this area for sure. And here's a look at the system from under the front of the lights. You see the existing springs and some of the wiring looms. And the adjustment screws are just off to the outside of each headlight, or at least that's one of the adjustments right there.
There's an adjustment nut back here.
Oh, okay.
You back off the lock nut.
Gotcha.
And then run this whole tab here out a little bit.
The adjustment nut is right there, right?
Yep.
To me, and according to the propaganda from the vendor, benefits of the electric headlight system are no bulky headlight vacuum parts, no vacuum lines from the engine, which may or may not help the performance of the engine, very smooth operation, and in some cases, these things can save you almost 5 pounds.
Just like putting a model together.
Hey, this is okay. Oh, wait. That's page 17.
The rear body wiring. I'm being shown the fiber optics by Jason and Alex. I had no idea about this. Very cool way to indicate up in the cab on the console how the rear lights are working. Around back at the tail lights, the fibers are mounted in the hole below each light bulb. The fibers run from the rear lights to these console lenses. The bulb light reflects back inside at that center console along the row of indicators that read tail lamps and license plate. When the bulbs were on, so were the console lenses. I think that's pretty cool. I'm not sure of how much wiring fun you can stand, but you might like this. Behind the seats are storage compartments. The left driver's side compartment's used for the battery, OEM-wise. While you can easily buy replacement storage compartments and doors, this Vette will be altered for where the battery is located. Follow that battery cable. It runs from front to back under the gas tank location. Keep your comments polite, please. Here are some considerations for mounting the car battery back by the gas tank. Contain the battery in a box in case it blows up or kind of catches fire. Vent the battery to the outside, which in this case, okay, that's well done. Vent the gas tank away from the battery. That's okay. Have the gas tank overfill discharge away from the battery. Again, that has been taken care of. Ensure the battery cables cannot ever touch the gas tank. And it looks to me like that is probably pretty well taken care of. Something bad would really have to happen for the battery cables to get near the gas tank. You can see the battery wires lead to the license plate where they have the drop-down license plate with the charge post for ease of use. Nicely done. You just pull the caps off those, well, they're magnetic caps to hold that license plate up into position, but pull those caps off and then you can utilize the charging posts. For the battery box, Jason made a large custom bracket off the rear crossmember, kind of where that sway bar is located. This puts the battery at the front side of the gas tank and furthest away from any possible gas overfill. Here, Jason demonstrates how the battery box is used. And it looks like the battery box came from Summit. There are a lot of different types and prices, of course. I think the Callaways did a very good job of making this customer happy with this setup. I want to begin wrapping up by mentioning some of the other tasks from this time. The honorable mentions. First, the door handles can be a pain. Be prepared to have or get extra handles. The Callaways had to get one extra pair.
The spring in it is weak, so it would get stuck like here.
Oh no.
And wouldn't, like, it still doesn't return all the way.
They're not supposed to do that until they get older.
Right. So you can still...
Those have not always been the greatest car handles.
The holes for the aftermarket headlight covers were messed up, and the covers did not perfectly match up with where the actual body headlight holes were. And the headlights are in sets of inner and outer pairs, so they not only need to align with the bracket, but they need to align horizontally. And this is something you really need to be aware of and double check before you just haul off and think you got the job done. The radiator can be a chore. Sourcing a good radiator bracket, not the core support, the radiator bracket, may seem difficult. You can get them, but it doesn't mean that they always work out. And this may depend on the radiator that you use as well. The Callaways ended up building their own brackets. You might have to get a little creative too. Believe me, there was a lot of work done that I've completely ignored in this video. The Holley sniper wiring, for example, it was a lot. There's a patch panel, there's all kinds of stuff going on here with the coil, blah blah blah. So yes, I have ignored a lot. A head scratcher I ignored was the gas tank. These things don't always just line up and cooperate, and the straps may just period be wrong. Be ready for this fun. A lot has been worked on, and of course worked on multiple times, like due to ensuring fitment and not to impede the install of other parts. Man, I am so pooped. It's been a lot of work watching this work and making this video. I really hope you enjoyed it or have gotten something out of this. I'm just exhausted. Some of these videos can take a long time to make, no matter if they're good or bad. So anyway, please like and subscribe. I seriously do appreciate it. And with that, please relax, take it easy, and I will see you later. Bye.